Alright lads, so the end of month banner for November has officially been announced. What is it going to be? Well, let's check it out. And shout out to these lads for getting their prediction right in our most recent video. So obviously the main predictions going around right now, is it going to potentially be another 1000-year Blood War banner? Is it going to be a hype or mid-premium banner? Or is it going to be a Christmas banner? Because there's definitely a chance they do actually do it early. We're about to find out now. Let's see what it's going to be. I'm excited for it. Hopefully it's a good banner. It's another 1000-year Blood War. Back-to-back 1000-year Blood War. What's going on? What is going on? Hold on. I have no idea what to expect. There's no way we're getting Yuha or Ichigo, right? That's an end-of-year banner. Oh my god, hold on. Let's just click on it. What's it going to be? What? 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 Don't say that's not Bankai Senjumaru. What? What? What is going on? Season 2 this early? What? What is going on? Yo, let's check it out. That was the last thing I was expecting. The last thing. We're already starting season 2. We are already starting season 2. I thought at the earliest they would give that to us at the end of the year. Now. There's no mention of Bankai Senjumaru, but there is potential here. And Ichibei is an SP character. His technique. What killer? Sword Bequeath's got 2 killers. Oh my god. Oh my god. Man, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. What is going on? The last 2 weeks have been an absolute roller coaster. Oh my god, though. Ichibei is a tech character. Surely he's going to be the... Okay, he's got a gauge. Wait, what? Wow, okay. I should probably, like, compose myself. But, like, this is just out of nowhere. Man, all right, let's take it in. Ichibei. All right. So we have a technique Ichibei. Technique Ichibei, Soripa, and also Quincy Killer. So he's in a way competing against someone like Toshiro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Toshiro's gameplay. Like, he's not a bad character. He doesn't do anything for me anymore, right? So, technique, Quincy Killer, Frenzy +1, and the additional 100% Berserker when the gauge is at full completion. That therefore means he's a gauge character. Now, hopefully, this means he isn't as bad as Nini, because, you know, if you know, Nini also gets Frenzy +1 when she gets the gauge effect, so assuming that's going to go up to Frenzy +3, but her base damage output is kind of lackluster, so hopefully it's not the same with Ichibei, right? Let's see, what we're looking at here. So, gauge effect does get the SP boost. Yeah, unfortunately. Why have they done that? Why have they done that? It's the exact same situation with Nini. 50% Berserker, Frenzy +1 when the gauge isn't active. That's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that is very, very annoying. Like, this isn't entirely bad, but if you've played with Nini, you know when the gauge isn't active, it's a tad bit, you know, it's not any crazy, right? But of course, when the gauge is active, that's when it starts to go kind of insane. But at the very least, though, he does look a bit promising when compared to Nini, because the big thing that's different here compared to Nini is that he actually has the strong attack recharge. So it might actually be the perfect gauge character when compared to any other gauge character in the game. Because Nini, if you don't know, she doesn't have the strong attack gauge. So when you complete the gauge, you know, your strong attacks aren't coming back. And that therefore means you have to wait a couple seconds, wait for your strong attacks to return before deciding to use your strong attacks and activate the gauge effect. Ichibei might not actually have that problem. And of course, he's going to be a very fast character since he does have long stride. I hope his strong attacks are actually good. But as of right now, before we even see the gameplay, first initial impression is that he's definitely a good character, just like Nini, but he might not be as bad as Nini when the gauge isn't active, thanks to the fact that he does have the strong attack recharge. Honestly, that makes a massive difference. It really, really does. And at the very least, he also does have weakened defense with bombardment, so his soul bomb's going to hit ridiculously hard, right? Man, I can't wait to see these characters soul bombs though. Oh my. And he also is an Aaroniero character, so we get star power item +2, increased special move usage +1. That makes sense because he does want to activate the gauge, and also poise at level 10. So if you are a Ichibei fan, as I am, I'm super excited for this character. I would have preferred him to be a, you know, not a tad bit better because I think he's a really good character. It just would have been great if he didn't have that small little weakness. But again, we'll see how it does play out with the gauge effect recharge, because that was the big thing that Nini was missing, and I didn't like that part about her. But this might be the perfect gauge character. We'll find out. Next up, Senjumaru. She's a strong attack character. Is it a Bankai? It's not her Bankai? It's not her Bankai. That's very weird. So she's a holo killer. Is she going to be a super Lynx or farmer? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Wow. She looks to be a great one, though. Yeah, so, lads, unfortunately, we have just gotten a better Tensu Zangetsu. We have just got a better Tensu Zangetsu. But this isn't Bankai Senjumaru, so that's very weird to see. This is not Bankai Senjumaru, which I guess means we could get another one in the future, right? But she is a speed hollow killer, strong attack recharge minus 12%, sprinter plus 2, havoc plus 20%, and also marauder. In terms of damage output here, this is actually absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Is this even needed? That's the question. Because we're obviously now going to compare it to Tenta Zangetsu, right? Tenta Zangetsu, Frenzy plus 1. Then he has 100% more damage to enemies not afflicted with an ailment. Then he has a Berserker value. And that's basically it, with the extra comp damage, actually. Now, in her case, she has Frenzy plus 2 and the 50% Berserker. But she also does go through Iron Skin and 100% more damage to enemies not affected by an ailment. And that right there is absolutely insane because it's so overkill. It's absolutely so overkill, right? You know, Tenta's already one-shotting characters in co-op IT. And in this case with Senjumaru, regardless if she actually, hits an enemy that is afflicted with a stat ailment, let's say your co-op team member actually inflicts a stat ailment, it just doesn't matter. Like we kind of saw with Ikaku last month, right? Like he has Frenzy plus 2 and a high Berserker value, but the downside of that is that he doesn't get 100% more damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment. Senjumaru does. But what's definitely appreciated here is that she does have complete stats immunity, so this is basically as good as a farmer can be, a super links-up farmer. Now, initial disappointment is just given the attribute itself. We don't need a new Tenta. I would gladly take a character that replaces Tenta because Senjumaru, she looks great, right? But at the same time, she does increase the amount of droplets you get by 30%, but also guarantees you 10 extra droplets. I really love that. I love that about, Chojuro and also Iben. So I definitely want to get my hands on this character just for the droplet farming aspect, but at the same time, she's doubling down as an even better Tenta Zangetsu. And what I also like about this character too is that she does have the character special move damage plus 30% if you are a speed character, and that goes to your entire team. So not only is a soul bomb damage hitting really hard, it's also going to be good for co-op lobbies when you are, everyone's using their soul bomb, right? And this is a character that you're not even going to just take into IT. You could take into epic raids, and now every speed character in your lobby is doing 30% more damage than the soul bomb. That's really, really important. She also gets poised in arena too. So yeah, honestly, right now, before we even look at Senjumaru's kit, she looks to be one of the best speed characters in the game. Absolutely insane farmer. Definitely going to want to pick her up. Only disappointment right now is that she doesn't look to be using her Bankai. So does that mean we're getting a new Senjumaru in the future? It's very weird. It's very weird because, right now we've only been getting season 1 characters. So to jump right now all the way to season 2 is very strange. And I was saying, yesterday, what 1,000-year blood banner could they give to us that's not season 1? Ichigo, Yuha, and also Yamamoto. But I guess they wanted to jump straight into 1,000-year Blood War season 2, right? Now in this case, very happy to see that she's actually a strong attack character. Kirio is a strong attack character. Where are the normal attack damage characters? What is going on? We've received one Nat character since the very hard difficulty Guild Quest post 8th anniversary. That is absolutely insane. I'm not complaining though, I prefer SP characters, and in this case, she's a range strong attack character. All of her attacks except her SA2 can inflict paralysis, and that's because her SA2 is a boost and heal move. So, unfortunately, right now what we're looking at here is that she's a range character with a melee SA2. Human Killer activates the Cage of Life for her soul trait, for her soul bomb, 14% strong attack recharge, and what does she actually offer? So, bit of a weird one. No, not really. I don't know. She's definitely, just quick glance, she looks the most lackluster. She doesn't have, the most ideal killer here. But I guess for the ranged human squad 0 guild quest, having a character like this would actually be kind of good here. Because she is going to be your team booster. She's going to be healing your team, and she actually can paralyze. And at the same time, in terms of damage output, Frenzy plus 2 with a 60% Berserker obviously isn't bad, especially when you have the SP boost. That in and of itself is really, really good. And then she also does do 40% more damage to paralyzed enemies. But then, of course, she also is your team booster. So, yeah, this Kiro does look good. More of a Guild Quest-centered character, to be fair. But right now, main problem that we are seeing here, before we even see her gameplay and even try her out in the game in a couple of days' time, is that, yeah, she is a ranged character, and that SA2 in particular is not doing any damage because it is going to be classed as a ranged attack. It is a boost attack, so therefore, it's going to be a melee attack, right? So that will be kind of a problem, but at the same time, if you look at it as a team booster, maybe it's not even that big of a deal, because I'm pretty sure the Human and Squad 0 Guild Quest doesn't have access to a booster, and she can technically be used in both the melee and also ranged Guild Quest week, so definitely a good card to pick up there for the sake of Guild Quest content. What are the fillers looking like? Okay, now this kind of changes everything. This kind of changes everything, I'm not gonna lie. So, one of the biggest problems with 1000-year battle banners is that the fillers are always bad. And that's because Caleb were hesitant on only making it 1000-year Blood War fillers. And as of right now, there is not a single good 1000-year Blood War banner that is old enough to become fillers. So the fact that they're now switching up and adding new characters to the list, I think is actually really, really good. Because, I mean, look at this. You know, Zapro and also Noritoro aren't the greatest characters, I'm not going to lie. But they're definitely... I mean, Noritoro is not bad for Guildcrest content. But you got Quincy Ichigo. You have Quincy Ichigo in the banner. That's not bad, honestly. The banner format, obviously normal. 5-star every 10 steps. 5-star guaranteed every 5 steps. 25 guarantees your new character. I like it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking it. They're definitely going to continue doing this, adding new characters to the filler pool, non-1000-year Blood War characters, because, you know, the banners themselves aren't really that good for, like, at least a year until we start to get new 1000-year Blood War banners, right? But yeah, for me, this is an easy, potentially all 25 steps, if I'm being honest. Potentially all 25 steps. I've been wanting an Ichibei for the longest of time, and to have a new one already is great. This feels early. This feels like it shouldn't be until like end of year. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so we're going to check out the gameplay later today, but before I do have a look at the gameplay, I do want to see what strong attacks they do actually have before going into the gameplay reveal, just so I can know what to potentially expect, and we can say right now from this view how good they will potentially be, right? So, SA1, in this case, is going to be, unfortunately, a pushback attack. So if you see here, it's a 18% magnification strong attack 1. Unfortunately, and we're talking about Kiro here, probably one of the worst strong attacks you actually can get, especially given the fact that Kiro, unfortunately, is an SP character with a SA2 that doesn't do damage in the content she's basically designed for, Guildcrest, right? That kind of sucks. You know, whenever a character has a problem with their SA2, in this case, not doing damage, ideally you want to have the best possible strong attack 1. And in this case, for Kiro, that doesn't seem to be the case, right? Her SA2 is going to be a 960 AoE in front of her. It's 800 with the Havoc. It is 960. It's a good SA2 to have. And we can see right now that Senjumaru also shares that SA2. So that's really good for Senjumaru fans, right? Because you do want it to have a good strong attack here. And then her SA3 is going to be a full screen around her. So overall, SA2 and SA3 for Kiro looks good. SA1, unfortunately, her most usable strong attack 1 is lackluster. As a character, definitely could be better. Maybe, like, it's not that big a deal because, you know, it's Kiro, right? But I feel like given the fact that SA2 doesn't do any damage, you do want to have a better SA1, right? Moving into Senjumaru, she has a 2,500 length beam in front of her, basically a 3,000 beam. Literally, the best strong attack 1 you can have in the game. We already saw that she has a 960 SA2 distant AoE, and then, of course, she has a full screen SA3 too, so she is literally a just better Tensei Zangetsu with the exact same strong attack kit, which, to be fair, is what you want to have. I really thought they were going to, like, give her a worse kit to kind of balance the fact that she's just way better than Tensei Zangetsu. So, yeah, obviously, in this case, Senjumaru solidified herself as one of the best farmers in the game, the best farmer, and also just, like, one of the best speed characters easily. She looks absolutely amazing. Let's check out Ichibei, though, right? What is he going to have as an SA1? So in this case, he has a Vacuum Vortex SA1, very similar to Nini, the Burnish character if you played with her, Rukia Parasol, and also Bambietta. It's a good strong attack 1. It's a good strong attack 1. I like it. The only times it has a problem is when the enemies will lunge at you and they can get outside of its distance, and it does kind of lock you in place for a brief millisecond almost. Maybe not as good as for epic grade content, but you can work around it. Like, that is not a bad strong attack 1 by any means. SA2 is going to be a lunge in front of him. Kind of unfortunate. Lunge SA2s aren't really the greatest, to be honest. His SA2 is going to be a beam forward. Not really the greatest to have a beam SA2, but honestly, it's not bad. Gameplay does look quite solid here. And then his SA3 is going to be a full screen. So I feel like Ichibei's kit isn't as good as I want it to be, but I definitely think he's going to be way better than we're giving him credit for. And I feel like he's going to be a very solid character nonetheless, especially given the fact that it's basically the first playable Ichibei, right? So yeah, overall, very, very happy with the banner. Kiro, I definitely think could have been better here. She's definitely the most lackluster of the three, but she definitely will do her job quite well. Being a team booster for the human and also Squad 0 Guildcrest, whether that's the ranged or melee Guildcrest, Ichibei looks to be very solid as a technique character. The fact that he does have 2 killers overall increases usability. Right now, though, again, the problem with him is that his damage output is going to be very lackluster when he doesn't have the gauge at full completion. I'm not sure why Caleb do this for characters with the gauge effect that do give frenzy +1. Like, maybe Frenzy plus 3 plus 100% Berserker when the gauge is active is too much, but at the same time, like, look at all the other characters we have in the game. There's no reason for this character to have Frenzy plus 1 base. Had he been given Frenzy plus 2, he easily probably would have been the best technical character in the game. At the very least, though, we have to see how it does play out. Again, the biggest problem that we did see with Halloween Nini is that, yeah, her damage output does suck when the gauge isn't full, but when the gauge is full, you're not reducing your strong attacks, and that really is noticeable. Trust me, if you played with her, at times you have to wait for your strong attacks to recover or get close to recovering before deciding to even activate the gauge, because if you activate and your SA3 has 12-second cooldown, well, now you're never getting to use that SA3 when the gauge is active. So this skill right here might make a huge difference on this character, and we'll find out when he does come out. Either way, though, I think he's definitely a solid character, maybe with one slight problem. And then Senjumaru, basically perfect. Basically perfect. Amazing character. Like, there's literally nothing bad about Senjumaru whatsoever, maybe besides the fact that she doesn't use her Bankai, but I guess that'll be a future character, right? If anything, the only thing you can complain about Senjumaru is the fact that she's a speed character. Would have been significantly more ideal if she was a technique or power character, but at the same time, she's still going to be really good in the content that she wants to be used in. Again, many farming content, IT, IZ, epic raids. And of course, the banner itself is probably one of the better 1,000 Yabara banners, given the fact that the fillers are actually decent here, mainly with the Quincy Ichigo, right? Zapado, you could go without, but we did do some testing in Guild Quest. If you get him duped out, he actually can be used in Guild Quest, which is one of the more difficult weeks. And then Noritoro, while we do trash on him, he's actually a really good range NAD character to help you in the range Aranka Guild Quest, right? Unfortunately, there still are some old characters in this banner, but at least for me, I don't own Izuru, so that's a new character for me to potentially pick up. So overall, very surprised and excited about this banner. This was the last thing that I was expecting. I thought we could potentially get 1,000 Yabaro, but I didn't know what they could do, unless they wanted to jump past Ichibei versus Ichigo, because I do believe that's going to be end of year. But maybe even now, who knows what end of year is going to be if we're already getting season 2 characters, especially late game season 2 characters. This banner definitely throws things up, and I have no idea what to expect at end of year now. Let me know what you guys think about these characters in the console. We're going to react to that gameplay later today. Hope to see you lads there. Take care and peace.